Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something a bit different. Our source material is, well, it's pretty unusual. We're stepping away from the usual reports and studies.
Yeah, definitely not the typical academic fare today.
Exactly. We're focusing entirely on one single, really potent cultural artifact. It's an excerpt from The Ballad of the Awakened People.
A ballad, yes. It's quite something.
Okay, so let's unpack this. This isn't, a dry political text. It feels much more like a roar of frustration captured in verse.
Yeah.
Our job here is to treat it like a primary source. We want to pull out the main grievances, look at the shifts in communication it talks about, and try to understand this identity they're claiming, the awakened people.
And what's really compelling, I think, is how effectively it condenses so much, decades, really, of what they see as government failure and media bias. It packs it into this memorable, sometimes quite poetic imagery.
So we're treating it as a direct window.
Essentially, yes. An unfiltered look, maybe even a manifesto, into the mindset of the group that produced it and presumably consumes it.
Right. And the first thing that really hits you is this total rejection of, well, information sources, traditional ones anyway.
It kicks off with that, doesn't it? A declaration of withdrawal.
Yeah, it says straight up, we don't watch the news anymore. And it links those news channels directly to, who does it call them? The thieves who ate our land. Pretty strong language.
Very strong. And it's not just like general distrust. It's framed as a complete rejection because they believe the whole system is captured. The language is incredibly sharp.
Accusatory, yeah.
Deeply accusatory. It describes the press almost as transactional, complicit. You get lines like, microphones kiss their lying lips. And how papers and radios bow, collecting tips. It paints this picture of an active partnership, almost a profitable one, between the powerful and the media.
Okay, but here's where it got really interesting for me. It's not just the old media, newspapers, TV news, radio.
No, it goes further.
It makes it really clear that even the modern platforms, the sort of decentralized ones, are also being rejected now.
Right. Which suggests, maybe paradoxically, both a certain level of digital savvy and a kind of deep digital weariness.
How so?
Well, the text says, even Facebook and TikTok we've turned away, for their poison fills our day.
Their poison fills our day. Wow.
So even platforms supposedly built for user content are now seen as toxic, or maybe working against them. Perhaps it's algorithms, maybe censorship fears, or just the sheer noise that ends up reinforcing the status quo they hate.
So if they're tuning out the news, ignoring radio, and even ditching Facebook and TikTok, what's left? Where do these awakened people actually go for information? What's their strategy?
And the ballad gives a surprisingly modern answer. It signals this shift towards very personalized, self-directed platforms, things they can control seemingly to bypass any gatekeepers.
Okay, like what?
It says explicitly, now on YouTube, we watch what we need, and with AI, we search and read.
YouTube and AI. So user-driven video content and AI-powered search. But okay, doesn't that raise its own issues? I mean, traditional media has editors, fact-checkers, flawed maybe, but some kind of oversight. Aren't they just trading potential media bias for, like, extreme algorithmic echo chambers on YouTube?
That's the absolute core dilemma here, isn't it? And the ballad, well, it doesn't really grapple with that complexity. It just presents the shift as necessary.
Necessary because the alternative is corrupt.
Exactly. For the people in this ballad, losing editorial oversight isn't a bug, it's a feature. They see editors as part of the problem, tools of the regime they despise.
So building your own narrative with search and algorithms feels like taking back control.
Precisely. It validates their skepticism perfectly. It locks them into an information space that confirms their worldview. And maybe that confirmation is what fuels the energy for the resistance they talk about later.
That makes some kind of sense. Like the truth feels more real because they had to find it themselves, fight the system for it.
Yeah, that psychology seems key.
So what exactly are they fighting against? Let's pivot to those core grievances. The ballad spends a lot of time listing the reasons, the history behind this deep disillusionment. It feels like profound exhaustion.
Oh, definitely. There's this weariness. They say, we no longer clap for their empty shows.
Why not?
Because in their view, the country consistently chose fools and crooks.
So it's more than just being unhappy with current politicians.
Much more. It's presented as this deep, almost foundational wound. And crucially, it gives a time frame, a very specific one.
Right, I noticed that. It claims this corruption isn't new. It's lasted for, what was it?
76 long years.
76 years. That's incredibly precise. Why that number, do you think? What's the significance?
Well, putting such a specific long duration on it, 76 years, it basically reframes the entire struggle. It suggests the whole system, maybe since some major historical event or foundation point, has been rotten from the start.
So it's not just the current leaders, it's the whole structure.
Exactly. It makes the current regime seem like the inevitable result of nearly 8 decades of failure. It turns the conflict into something existential. The system itself, not just the people in it, is painted as irredeemable. That debt unpaid is generational.
That context makes the anger feel almost logical from their perspective. And the corruption isn't abstract, is it? It talks about tangible things.
Very tangible. It's not just about policy failures. It laments they took everything, every dream, their greedy hands in every stream.
Every dream, every stream. That's personal.
Absolutely. It connects the big political failure to things people experience directly: resource theft, like water or land, environmental damage, and maybe even more powerfully, the theft of hope, of opportunity. It links the macro problems to micro-level pain.
And who's doing the taking? The ballot is pretty clear about pointing fingers?
Oh, yes. It points directly at a wealthy elite, suggesting they operate with total impunity.
There's that line about the rich.
The rich who cut down trees and hills still laugh and drink in bars of ills.
Yeah. It creates this really stark image, doesn't it? Environmental destruction happening alongside, well, blatant enjoyment by the perpetrators, like they're mocking the consequences.
It implies a deep class division, where the rules just don't apply to the wealthy elite who are benefiting from this destruction.
And this idea that the corruption is almost performed, flaunted, that leads us to the next bit, doesn't it? How this power structure maintains itself. The ballad calls it a kind of theater.
That's a great way to put it. The text really emphasizes the performative side of their rule. It talks about charades, their festivals, and false parades.
Distractions.
Exactly. Spectacles designed to keep people focused on trivial things, while the real damage, the structural theft, continues unseen, or maybe seen but normalized.
It sounds cynical, but maybe effective. And it even describes how they rally support, sometimes even from the poor, the ones most affected.
That's one of the most chilling parts, I thought. How they gather the poor for one more show with banners high and fake halos.
Fake halos. Again, the language is just dripping with contempt.
It suggests the leaders aren't just hypocrites. They're actively manipulating the people they're harming, using these temporary gestures, these performances of righteousness, maybe to buy loyalty or just compliance.
And there's that strange line, almost triumphant, suggesting the end is near for them. All this spectacle happens when...
just before they reach the prison door.
Right, so the awakened people clearly believe justice is coming, that this is the final act for the elites.
That sense of imminent victory, or at least imminent downfall for the elites, seems really important for morale, for keeping the resistance going.
And it also touches on loyalty within that system, doesn't it? Suggesting it's fragile?
Very fragile. It notes, even those they bribed now unite, raising flags under false light.
Meaning the loyalty bought with money doesn't last.
That seems to be the implication. When things get tough, even those who benefited temporarily might turn against the structure that bribed them. It's all transactional, no real belief holding it together.
So if we pull back and look at the big picture here, the most damning critique seems to be that this isn't just about bad actors. The system itself is designed to continue, right? Across generations.
That's arguably the most powerful structural point in the whole text. It talks about lineage, inheritance of corruption.
The line about fathers and sons.
Yes, that incredibly potent line. Fathers who rob the nation's soul send sons to chase the same foul goal.
Wow. So the corruption is basically a family business passed down.
That's the implication. It's systemic, inherited. It means any surface-level change, just swapping out faces, won't fix anything because the roots remain, as the ballad says. The problem will just cycle through the next generation.
That level of pessimism about the past and present, it almost demands an equally strong vision for the future, doesn't it? Which sets up the final part perfectly. The declaration of who these people are now.
Exactly. After laying out all the problems, the theft, the cycles, the tone shifts dramatically from despair and anger to, well, determination, identity.
They're defining themselves.
They're claiming a new state of being, politically and psychologically. They aren't just disgruntled citizens anymore. They've undergone a transformation. They are awake, unchained, and proud once more.
Awake, unchained, and proud. That's a declaration of liberation.
It is. It suggests the main victory has already happened internally by seeing through the system, by waking up to what they believe is the truth.
And this isn't just for, like, one election or one protest march. The commitment sounds long-term.
Very much so. It's framed as this ongoing cyclical resistance. But as long as these roots remain, we'll cast them out again and again.
Again and again, a generational promise to keep fighting.
It is. And their ultimate faith seems to rest on the power of historical memory and the counter-narrative they're creating and spreading now, using those channels they've chosen. YouTube, AI.
They believe they're making history.
Absolutely. There's this defiant belief in their own significance. The wind carries our words like flame, and history will remember our name. It's powerful stuff.
So, stepping back, what does this ballad as a source really tell us? It paints a picture of extreme political division, doesn't it? And just fundamental rock-bottom distrust.
Completely. For the people represented here, the only acceptable story is that the entire established system, media, politics, the elite families, It all has to go. It has to be dismantled and rebuilt by the people themselves.
And the unity they feel isn't about agreeing on specific future policies, maybe.
It seems less about that and more about a shared, profound rejection of the past and the present. The ballad acts almost like an ideological guide for that rejection.
Yeah.
And it's spread directly, peer-to-peer, using the very tools they trust because they believe they're unbiased or at least controllable by them.
Right. YouTube and AI.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was quite a journey through a really unique and, frankly, powerful cultural document. So the key takeaways seem to be this huge shift away from mainstream media towards personalized platforms like YouTube and AI, driven by total distrust. Then there's the framing of corruption as historical, stretching back 76 years, focusing on tangible theft, environmental, economic, even theft of dreams.
Yep, generational debt.
And finally, the response isn't just anger. It's this determined, long-term generational commitment to resistance against what they call the foul goal of the ruling families. A new identity, awake and unchained.
Exactly. The ballad itself functions as a piece of cultural warfare, you could say. It's a declaration written in verse. We've seen how tightly political critique and media critique are fused together in this source.
For them, creating and sharing this message is the resistance.
It seems to be a fundamental part of it, yes.
So here's something to think about. The ballad puts a lot of weight on history will remember our name. Given that, how effective can this kind of counter-narrative really be? Especially when it's spread mainly through these decentralized, algorithm-driven platforms like YouTube and AI. Can it genuinely compete with the entrenched power structures it rails against?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
And maybe, what's the next step? What happens when AI isn't just the tool they use to search, but becomes another system they start to distrust? What might the next version of this kind of ballad look like then?
Food for thought.
Definitely something for you to mull over until our next deep dive.